A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is Speedy Post on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and Speedy Post is that show where we bring you social media moments. We take posts from social media, share them with you, and also get to hear your opinion on our topic of discussion. And this afternoon as well, we have brought a post, I found on social media just to get your own opinion. So make sure you pay attention and then listen to the story. And as soon as I am done sharing, you can start calling in to share your opinion. So a guy made a post, and said that his elder brother hasn't been around. He hasn't been present in the family for some time now. He left the home a long time ago and didn't even, come back and then take responsibility, or maybe even try to help out with responsibilities in the family, or even supporting the mom, supporting their dad. Nothing. He left, and then, saying that he had his own life to live, and that maybe taking some of these responsibilities can actually weigh him down. So his elder brother hasn't been present, not until his father passed away recently. And all of a sudden, his elder brother returned and started dragging for inheritance. This inheritance issue that never ends. That is the story that someone still came with. All of a sudden, his elder brother came back and started dragging inheritance like he is the first child. And then it is only right that what the father actually owns goes to him. And then he was not in support, saying that even if he is the first child, firstborn or not, he was not present after years of absence and then zero support. How can he just show up and then try to drag for the father's properties? Only now that his father has died, that is when he came back. But then that is not the one that hurt him the most. According to him, what is most hurtful is that even the mom that was there that saw all of these things happen is in support that the elder brother should actually take the properties, because that is how it is only right that the first child should be the one to get it. And then he brought it online and then was trying to understand, because according to him, people just hold on to some of these some traditions and then do things that are not fair. So when he brought it online, some persons were saying that tradition or not, if you didn't stay and suffer with the family, you don't just come back for a reward or come back and then fight for inheritance. Some persons were saying that inheritance is law and tradition. So emotional talk is not enough to cancel birthright, and it should be that for the first child, no matter what happens. And some persons were saying, the one who struggled with the family actually deserves respect, not the one who disappeared and came back for sharing. So that is the story for today that we have brought from social media, and we also want to hear your opinion. Let us hear what you think about the story that we just shared. Who do you think actually deserves this? Whatever perspective you're looking at it from, whether it's from tradition, whether it's from maybe just how you've had experiences and the way you live, whatever angle you're looking at it from, you can call in and share with us. After years of absence and then zero support, should the firstborn still automatically have a right to inheritance just because of birth order? Do you believe that is fair? Or would you say that the one who was there and present and then taking care of the younger siblings and then carrying everything should be the one who deserves some of this inheritance? So let us hear from you. And number for you to call is 090-3648-5868. That is 090-3648-5868. You can start calling in and then putting your calls through, and let us hear what you have to say about the story we just shared this afternoon. Who do you think actually deserves that inheritance? And then what are the grounds? Like, what makes you to say that? What perspective are you looking at it from? What angle actually guides your decision? Call in and let us hear from you this afternoon on Speedy Post on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this afternoon. And so, yes, let us hear from you. Let us hear what you think. Do you think that it naturally should be like the firstborn's, inheritance, since that is the birth order, he is the firstborn? Or it should be about who actually stayed there, who was present, who is still taking care of the family, not just someone who came back simply because, okay, yeah, the father is no more now, and then it's time to actually share this inheritance, to own different things, and the person just comes back to partake in that sharing. So let us hear what you think. Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868. That is 090-3648-5868. You can also tell us how it is done, even you in your own culture, because some persons were saying that sometimes, even though things like this may appear to not be fair, but that is what the culture has demanded. And so whether you like it or not, you just have to follow it like that. And it's not about who was actually there or who has been present, but then what the culture actually permits, what the tradition says, that is what is supposed to be done. And some persons were saying that it's time enough for people to actually put some of these things aside, like maybe saying that it's for culture, saying that it's for tradition. Hello? Saying that it's for culture, saying that it's for tradition, and actually start using their heads. I saw a comment like that who was saying that people become insensitive and then people become unfair simply because they are saying that some of these cultures, and then it's people, human beings that actually put some of these things in place. So why can't they be changed? So call in and let us hear from you this afternoon on Speedy Post. Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868. That is 090-3648-5868. Let us hear what you think. Let us hear maybe from your own traditions, some of the things that if it's in your tradition, this is the way it would actually go. Or then from your own perspective, because sometimes people want to even separate, like, this is what I would do or this is what I think. But then because tradition says this, then we just have to followed. We just have to follow the tradition. Of course, for some people there is no way to actually go. Or some persons were saying that what if the father actually left something and said this is the person that should have my properties, but then he said, well, in that situation his father did not plan anything like that. He just suddenly lost his life, and then it became a family thing for them to actually sort out who is going to have those things, who is going to inherit the properties. And then now that he is the one that has been present in the family, taking care of the family, taking care of the mom, and then even their younger siblings, he feels like he's the one who deserves to have a say, or who deserves access to most of those things. But then his elder brother suddenly shows up and then believes that simply because he is the firstborn, he deserves the right to have those properties. So let us hear from you this afternoon. Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868. That is 090-3648-5868. Call in and let us hear what you think. Hello. All right, you can still call us back, and it's 090-3648-5868. Who do you think actually deserves the inheritance more? And then if you have something like that, maybe from your own tradition, from your own culture, tell us how it is, how it's actually looked at, whether it's from the person who was present, who actually takes care of the family, or is it something of, it has to be like the birth order, this person came first and this is the person who should actually have some of those properties. This is the person who should actually have a say, because this is something that we always hear about sibling rivalry and then fight regarding things about inheritance. All the time there's always, okay, these two brothers hate themselves, or they are fighting for something like this because this person wants to be the one to take the larger part of the inheritance, or want to inherit something like this, want to do this. There's always a story about inheritance. So stories like this, they are not actually new, but then it goes it takes a different turn every time. Like there's always something to add, something new that comes out of these stories of inheritance. And this time around, well, it is someone who thinks that even being the second born, like they deserve the inheritance better than someone who is the firstborn, simply because the other brother was not present from time to take care of the family and then support taking care of the younger ones. He only suddenly shows up after the father died to compete for that to even demand for that inheritance, because he is the firstborn. And if you have just joined us, this is Speedy Post on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. You can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 090-3648-5868. That is 090-3648-5868. Call in and let us hear your opinion. And while you try to put your calls through, I'll keep sharing some of the comments that were under that post, and so you get to also see what people were talking about. Some people were saying that, so because someone left home, he should lose everything. That's not fair at all. Even if he left home, he still deserves the right to those things, because that is how it's supposed to be by law and tradition. And some persons were even saying that, who actually made that law that it should be like the firstborn and then not someone who was there, because not every firstborn is actually deserving of those things. And then someone else also said, people always forget that first son carries responsibility, whether he was present or not. And we had people replying to that person saying that, how would you say someone has responsibility when he was whether he was present or not, when clearly in this case he wasn't there? So which responsibility did he have while he was away? Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868. That is 090-3648-5868. And someone else also says, if you were suffering with them, where was the firstborn? Hello? 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 Yes, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. All right, you can still call us back. Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Yeah. My name is Dennis Ihare.
All right. Where are you calling from today, sir?
I'm calling from India.
All right. Welcome to the show. Go on.
You know, inheritance right.
Mm.
In a normal society, if you know you are a man of means and you don't want any of this brouhaha, you can actually do a will. A will that you can deposit with a family lawyer, and once on your demise, he will come and announce how you want your properties to be shared.
Mm.
In most cases, I ask people, when you fight over your late father's property, it limits your own ability to go look for that which is yours.
Mm.
And especially in this part of the world, we wake up and say, well, this one is a girl, she does not have right to the inheritance because she's married. Although the Muslim, especially the Hausa people, it does. They will only give the male children, 2% more than the girl child because they are all the siblings and they are offspring of the man.
Mm.
Because most times when people overindulge in this inheritance right, they forget to see that they are also having, sharing children. That tomorrow, what are you going to leave behind for your children?
Mm.
So I have had, I was privileged to know of one person, one family.
Mm.
The man had, I think, seven children, three
Mm.
girls and four boys, and they had a house in Yokiako Street.
Okay.
Upon the demise of the father and the mother, the eldest child insisted they must sell the house and share the money.
Mm.
The youngest one said, "Brother, if we sell this house, where are we going to move to?" So he
Mm.
doesn't want to hear about that, and they ended up selling the house,
Mm.
like he insisted, and he sold the house. I think at that time for 7 million,
Oh.
and he gave them 3 million, 4 million to share. The first son, carried 3 million.
Mm.
Upon which he still stayed back in that same house as a tenant until he was ejected. In fact, the last boy was the one who was able to use part of that money to buy land around that Adeke area. And when he was ejected from this place where he could not pay rent again, he
Mm.
still ran to the younger brother.
Mm.
The selling of property, people don't know. It comes with a lot of costs, usually landed properties. When
Mm.
you sell and you don't use it to keep some part of that inheritance to the offspring that are coming behind, it comes with a lot of costs
Mm.
because somebody else sweated and then you don't want him to come and get a part of this thing.
Mm.
Funny enough, if their dad has passed on and was owing people, they will not want to pay.
Mm.
Because if you are inheriting one's property, you should also be able to inherit its liabilities as well.
Okay.
So when people are fortunate, sometimes their children tend to be very lazy and they don't want to, go out there and struggle to get things for themselves.
Mm.
So inheritance, especially when you know you have a large estate, try to see that you make a will, so that your children will not come and be fighting each other tomorrow.
Mm.
Because those people who want to take inheritance, they are always very, very fast in trying to fight about what they didn't do.
Mm.
So my advice to people is that if you know you have children, and in some cases, some even have two wives. That one
Mm.
is even more complicated.
Mm.
You understand? Siblings will start fighting themselves instead of uniting and trying to build upon what their father left. They'll be fighting who gets what and what. So
Mm.
people should actually make a will so that when they pass on, their children will not come and be fighting each other. And I
Okay.
also advise that the children should go and look for their own as well.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show this afternoon. This is Speedy Post on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this afternoon. And if you've just joined and you don't know what we are talking about today, this afternoon, we shared a story of a man who came out and then said his elder brother has been absent, in their lives, his mom and then their younger siblings for a long time. And he only returned after the father passed, and that was to actually come and take inheritance. That is why he came back, not because he was finally coming back, to maybe be part of it. It's only when the father passed on, that is when he returned and then tried to take inheritance. And according to him, the one that was most hurtful is the fact that even the mom was in support, saying that that is how it's supposed to be. When it comes to tradition, it's actually the first child that is supposed to have that inheritance, and she understands that, okay, he has been there and all these things, and he was expecting his heart, like, okay, this woman has been here the whole time, I've been the one struggling, I've been the one trying to help the family, and he suddenly comes back, and then all of a sudden he's the one who deserves that inheritance. He brought it online and then tried to get people's opinions, and some persons were saying that inheritance is law and tradition, and emotional talk is not enough to cancel birthright. Some persons were saying the one who struggled with the family actually deserves respect, not the one who disappeared and came back for sharing. And there are people who were talking about this tradition and then culture, like it's higher time that people start actually thinking about some of these things and then putting the unnecessary ones aside, because most of the time they are just doing some of these things because someone out there laid out those traditions and then cultures, and people just follow without even knowing on what grounds they made things like that. And then people always forget that first son carries responsibility whether he was present or not. So let us keep hearing your opinions. Number for you to call is 09036485868. That is 09036485868. Call and let us hear what you think about this whole issue and who you would actually say is deserving, in your own perspective, the way you're looking at it, or maybe from even your own traditions. Who would you say is actually deserving? Hello. All right, you can still call us back. And we heard from Mr. Dennis Harif, and he spoke about this issue of inheritance in general. One thing about things like this, it's not the first time that someone will even come out and then make a post like this. Hello? It's not the first time that someone would actually come out and then make a post like this, which is why it's actually very catchy. There's always one issue with inheritance and, inheritance, the sibling fighting because of inheritance, this and that. And Mr. Dennis Harris says that is why it's actually important for Will. Even in that comment section, there were people who were talking about that, and Will, and he was replying some persons talking about his father suddenly just passed on and there was nothing like a will. It was left for them as a family to actually decide. And there were people who were even raising concerns like, we are the uncles and who are supposed to decide some of these things. Shouldn't they be the ones to be telling you people what to do? Like, is it something that is supposed to be shared like that? And then there were other persons who were saying, of course, like, it's a family matter. It's not necessary that every time they take you to the uncles, because the uncles sometimes might even say, yes, this is how it should be, and they should just take it their way. Even if one person was present, the other person was absent, it is still the first child that is supposed to have it. So let us hear from you. Number for you to call is 09036485868. That is 09036485868. This is Speedy Post on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this afternoon. And someone says the mother even supporting the absent son is shocking. That alone says a lot. Some persons were mad and even saying, well, sometimes your mother is even your hater, and they will never see anything that you're doing, but you'll be doing something and they will never see anything that you're doing until they get an opportunity to actually take something away from you. That's when you see their true colors. And then someone commented, family loyalty matters. You can't abandon people and still expect equal share later, So let us keep getting your opinions. These are things that happen even in our everyday life. Sometimes you see some posts, on social media, and then you're forced to think about how even in reality some things actually happen, because if someone makes a post and puts it out there, you are only someone who is looking at it. You might be saying, okay, it's possible that this person even added, a lot of pepper and, try to maybe even manipulate others into believing that their side is right. But then think about it, because even when it comes to our everyday life, things like that actually happen. So who would you say is more deserving of that inheritance? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. Hello. Okay, you can still call back to be part of the show on 09036485868. That is 09036485868. This is Speedy Post on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from. All right, you can keep trying to call back. And this afternoon on Speedy Post, we have shared a story regarding the inheritance. This inheritance that has always been a problem, with different people. Hello? That's always been a problem with different people, different struggles, sibling rivalry, because struggling for inheritance. Who is supposed to take the larger share? Who is taking the smaller share? Or who is even taking all of it? Things like that. And this time, a man came out and then spoke about how his elder brother was absent, during their life, and wasn't supporting with the family, wasn't supportive of the mom, the dad, even when he was alive. Only until when the father passed, that is when he came back and then tried to, claim rights over inheritance. And then he was not in support, saying that he's the one who has been present, the whole time. And then he feels like he's more deserving of that inheritance more than the person who was absent and then just shows up. And what hurts him the most is that even the mother is supporting the elder brother, saying that it's tradition and it must be followed, even though he has been the one that has been supportive of that family the whole time. They still claim something like tradition should be holding them back. And some persons were saying that it's high time that people actually start thinking for themselves and then forget about some of these traditions, because it was people like us that actually made them. It's not like the traditions are just were always there from time. It was actually people. Hello. It was actually people like us, that made these traditions, and then it's been long, and then people are getting wiser, but somehow they won't stop holding on to things like this, and it is what is making us to even go backwards, according to some persons. And some persons were saying, even if you've been the one who suffered, it's still like a best right, or it's something that is like law for it to be the first child, for the first son to actually inherit. And then that also brings us to what our caller said earlier about going to hustle for your own, because this inheritance fight would keep happening, because people still want to, they are just waiting for that to happen so they can take things. And it can even start to look like the whole time that the dad was there, that is what everyone was waiting for, to actually fight for something that they did not work for, or something. Maybe that's what they have been looking at since, and just waiting for the opportunity. Okay, that is no more, and we can just fight for it. That actually reminds a lot of people of the importance of actually building your own, because if you are building your own thing, I doubt you would feel the necessity to actually maybe fight anybody or even be at war with anybody, simply because you're trying to get that inheritance. But on the other way, for some person's culture, it is compulsory that things like that actually happen. But then it's actually I find this post like one quite interesting, because it's something that keeps happening, and I think everyone should actually think about it. So Speedy Post will come to your ears every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I've been with you on the show today. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. Coming up next at 3:55 p.m. If today is your birthday, then Speedy Kids are going to be wishing you a happy birthday. And also up next at 4 p.m. the Speed Lane comes on right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And until then, keep enjoying music of your life.
Hello, my cutie. Asking Radio